1031austin.com.
103.1, Austin's 80s station. It's the JB and Sandy Show. Hey, thanks for being with us. We do it every day from 7 until 8 o'clock. It's the JB and Sandy Show. My name is Sandy. This is JB.
Hello.
Trisha's here as well.
Hi, everybody.
And yesterday when we got off of the air, I shared an iPhone trick with Trisha and JB that I thought everybody knew. And you guys were so interested in it. And so, like, how do you do that? How do you do it?
Yeah. You caught me by surprise. I'm dying to.
Right. And then Trisha told me, Sandy, it's really sexy when you're techie. I'm like,
Super attracted to you right now.
Problem solving.
It's a thing you can do now. What you have to do first is have your home address and your work address stored in your contact. You know, when you share a contact from your phone with someone, it's got your number, email, home address, work address, all that kind of stuff. Well, what you can do is just ask Siri to remind you to do whatever when you get to work. So you can say, hey, Siri, when I get to work, remind me to check the mail. And my phone's doing it right now. It says I added check the mail. So you leave your house, and then when you get to that address that you have in your phone, the message pops up when you walk in the door to the office.
It's all location-based reminders.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. But you have to you have to establish what that location is in your contact.
Right. Like I would say, hey, Siri, remind me when I get home to compliment my wife's hair color that she had done around between 1 and 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But then as soon as it sees your phone is home, it sends you the reminder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It cracks me up how, my iPhone's always trying to figure out where I'm going.
Yes. Yeah.
As soon as you get in the car, it's like, 10 minutes to Joe's Coffee. Like, I'm not going to Joe's Coffee.
Not today.
I love that, though. And then and a lot of people do it. Trisha does it all the time, is like, how long does it take to get from here to there? Like from the Arboretum to Oak Hill, how long is it going to take me? And then you got to figure, well, that's now. Tomorrow is going to be Saturday, so traffic won't be as bad. You know what I mean?
I use the maps or the GPS, not because I don't know how to get where I'm going, but because it calculates in the time, like if there's traffic or something. So if I'm leaving, in 20 minutes, I'll put it in the maps then to see how long it takes to get there.
Oh, right. Like, I think you're talking about the same thing I'm thinking of. I know this is a Google Maps thing. I don't know if the Apple one on your phone does it, but you can plug in the time of day you're making that trip and it will estimate it. Did you know that?
Like in advance?
Yes.
Wow.
So if I've got an appointment, say I live in South Austin, I've got an appointment at the Domain tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I can go into Google Maps and plug in that time that I need to be there. And it'll estimate it based on averages, which comes in handy.
It definitely comes in handy, but the day of, you should check it again with maps because if there's a wreck, say on Mopac, it might give you an alternate route to go that might take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy technology.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good one. That's a good hack because I'm bad about just that little reminder feature in the phone. I don't know why. I don't use it like I should.
I use it all the time. Like I had to go to H-E-B Pharmacy, so I just told it, when I leave the house, remind me to go to H-E-B Pharmacy and get my stuff.
Oh, God, I do that all the time. I'll leave and I'll be like, I need to go here when I'm out and about, and then I totally forget. That drives me crazy.
That's a good trick.
You got it. No charge for that, friends. No charge at all. Other interesting stuff to know that Austin is no longer the most expensive city in Texas to live in. We dropped down to number 2. Dallas is the number 1 most expensive city to live in Texas. And I got to say, Dallas wouldn't want it any other way.
Dallas is back on top.
Dallas would borrow money to be worth more than Austin.
To be more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dallas would want it that way.
Yeah, there's some sort of Highland Park HOA put out a memo that everyone needs to add 300 square feet to get the values up over Terrytown, Austin.
I think that the wealth in Dallas overall, just looking around, my own observations, the wealth in Dallas seems to dwarf the wealth in Austin.
There's more generational wealth in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of old money. We got a lot of new money.
Yeah,
in Austin, but Dallas is old money.
It's just got such a richer history. Like Trisha, you probably remember like when you went to Texas State out of school, coming from Austin, like everybody came from Dallas, Houston to go to school. Like the same thing when I was going to Texas. And then when they graduated, they all left and went back to Dallas, Houston.
Right.
Because that's where the jobs were. And or if they went to go and work in the family business, again, generational wealth.
That was back when Austin was just a college town.
There were no jobs here.
There were not that many jobs. And so you would come here, you get your schooling, as my grandma would say, and then you went back to wherever you were going to go or wherever your job was.
Same thing in San Marcos. There weren't jobs there. You went, you got school. You did your time in school and left. Lubbock, same thing, right? Why would you
graduate from Texas State and go work at the outlet mall?
Right.
Hey, but you know what, Jimmy? You just mentioned a part of Texas that people don't think of when they think of a whole lot of money, like really big money. Midland, Texas.
Oil and
big,
gas.
It's
definitely
money.
the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think Midland, Texas, but all that oil and gas money.
And land.
That was a funny scene in Landman when the attorney showed up from New York or wherever, and they gave her a rental car. And it was a badass Mercedes sedan. And she went back to the counter and she goes, "Can I have something that won't stand out so much?" And the agent goes, "Oh, ma'am, I've got you in a LS 440 Mercedes. That's not going to stand out, Midland."
Right.
Like a $200,000 Mercedes. And she's like, "That's not going to stand out in Midland." So,
yeah, same thing. We used to always go to this wake surf event with my daughter in San Angelo. Similar thing. You just think, oh, this town's poor. And then you go out on the lake and look at the houses and the boats and you're like, oh, yeah, somebody's getting paid around here.
Is that oil and gas? Is that oil and gas there too in San Angelo?
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, very similar. Very similar.
I learned that it's not San Angelo, it's San Angelo.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we were talking about. Nashville is Nashville.
San Angelo.
Fort Worth
San
is
Angelo,
Fort Worth.
one
And
word.
I've learned in San Angelo's, everyone calls it Lake Nasty Water, not Lake Nasworthy.
Lake Nasty Water, I hadn't heard that.
So kind of rounding out the most expensive cities to live in, Dallas is number 1, Austin's number 2, Houston is number 3, and San Antonio comes in 4th. So your 4 biggest metros in the state are the most expensive to live in. So you can go to San Antonio and get a lot of house for the money versus what you spend in Austin.
It's funny, if you really look at Texas history, you know, what should have been probably you could argue that Houston should have been the capital, but forever the biggest city was Galveston. Did you know that?
Really?
No.
Because that's where the ships were coming in. So
that makes
Galveston
sense.
was supposed to be the darling. And then we had that massive hurricane. Turn of the century that I think pivoted that whole deal.
Destroyed it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, Galveston was supposed to be the darling.
Boy, it didn't. It turned into a turd. I mean, let's be honest. Galveston it's not a turd.
It's on the rise.
Yeah.
I think, didn't we talk about it, how the Texas coast is on the rise? People are building.
Specifically Port A.
Port A is now the Hamptons of Texas. Is what they're saying.
And Rockport is more of a fishing town, but there's a lot of money getting pumped into it.
Rockport's cute.
I like Rockport.
It's got charm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just 25 minutes away from Port Aransas, and it's a different world in Rockport. I mean, a very, very different world. Coming up on the show today, so I was looking at stuff that's going on in Austin this weekend, and there's a show that's going on, and I don't want to give it all away right now, but I saw the last name of the person performing. I'm like, I wonder if they're related to the other one with that last name. And then I did and I found out, I found out they are, and then I found out some music that they did together, and it's going to be the coolest thing you hear today. Austin musicians, all right? It's an older name. JB, you'll know the name. Trisha, you'll know the name. But when they came together to do a song, it's going to freak you out a little bit.
And it's not Nelson.
No.
I've just been hearing more Lucas Nelson lately.
Yeah,
He's got a hot song right now. It made me think of that.
We've got that coming up about 7:25. I promise you it'll be the coolest thing you hear today. Up next, Trisha's got the story we love. What do you have?
We're going to talk about Woody Harrelson and Mathew McConaughey's series that they're filming. They were spotted in Austin.
Trisha's going to fill us in on what Mathew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson are filming in Austin in just a moment, and the story we love. But first, a troubling DM that I received from a listener that I want to know if you guys have ever picked up on. It's something I did not know that I do. I have never heard this before. but it really annoys one Bob Peterson. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Really, and it says his last line is so annoying. He says,
no.
Sandy says the letter G on words ending with the letter G. A hard G. Cycling, firing, bling, bang, string. String sounds like string-ga. So annoying. Ga. So he's saying that I put a hard G on string. I don't say string-ga or fanga. You know what I'm saying? I think he's
I don't
wrong.
hear you doing it. Trisha
hear
does
either.
some hard G's.
Maybe he's talking about maybe I'm the annoying one, not Sandy.
Oh, maybe he thinks Sandy's a girl's name.
The Sandy's. Yeah,
Oh.
we had a lot with that historically. They assumed the female on The Voice was Sandy.
Is Sandy?
Yeah.
But that's
it's my
common.
first. It's my first hate mail.
You do the hard G, but it's very common now. Like,
Right.
it's not unusual at all.
It is bling, right?
Bling. Do I have a at the end?
I don't know.
Oh my
But
God! Now it's going to be in my head.
But I'm not mad at Bob Peterson because there's a podcast that I listen to that the guy, it's a political podcast, and one of the hosts on it leaves consonants out. He doesn't say president, he says president. And he says
President.
He says
Makes it
instead
short.
of saying senator, he says center. You know what I mean? It just drives me nuts. But I would never DM and tell him. But Bob did.
Bob Peterson.
So I
if
think-
it's me, Bob, I'm sorry. I'll work on it.
Yeah, get to work on that, Trisha. You could get in trouble if you don't get that fixed. All right.
The stories we love.
Good morning. Live from the Lisha Hope Studio. It's Trisha Delisha.
All right. So we're all still waiting to find out if Woody Harrelson and Mathew McConaughey are half brothers.
Boy, they
right?
have played this to the hilt, haven't they?
Oh my gosh. We still don't know, but
cares?
I care. Why do I care? I just want to know. But I do have reported in the last few weeks that they have been together shooting a reality series called Brothers out on McConaughey's ranch in Wimberley. They recently were spotted in Austin, again, shooting scenes for Brothers, and it showed them in a Ford F-150 pickup truck. They were over on West Riverside Drive. Austin PD had pulled them over, and they're both wearing matching bright blue, sparkly rhinestone cowboy suits and cowboy hats.
I saw
No
that
idea.
clip. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's a scene for Brothers. It's going to be their upcoming Apple TV comedy series, which I guess is the same thing as what they were filming on his ranch. I guess it's the same one that people say we might actually find out if they're related or not in this comedy series.
You know, they legit do not know. And this is as close as I am to it. I know Jordan Harrelson, Woody's brother, older brother. Mm-hmm. He's an avid cyclist. And I was like, come on, dude. Surely you know if McConaughey's your half brother or not. He goes, no, I don't know. I really don't know. He goes, it's very likely. And he said, we're probably going to find out soon, you know. But I could tell he legit does not know. And this was as recently as a few weeks ago.
And so someone explain for me, even if just for me, how this could have happened. Who screwed who? I mean, you guys are looking at me like, you guys are looking at me like
I'm trying to, I don't know the
explain the
exact
birds
answer.
and the bees here.
There apparently there was a breakup.
McConaughey's mom and dad broke up for a little while at
Okay.
some point, right? JB?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like they were having an illicit affair. There was a legit break in
They
both
might
their
have the
ships.
same dad. So the dad might be Woody Harrelson's father with Woody Harrelson's mother.
Oh, so Matthew's father was messing around with Woody's mom.
I think so,
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Why don't they just ask his mother?
I know. That's what I said when this first came out, because I was like, a lady would know if she had the baby, right? Like, why is this
Yeah.
such a mystery and so hard to figure out?
There are probably a lot more women than we realize who've taken that one to the grave about
True.
who was the father, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of that, do you know that, I don't know if it's folded or bankruptcy, but that 23andMe?
Oh, they just sold for $250-something million.
Yeah.
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 We're freaking
I
out,
was-
wanting to get their DNA back.
I was kind of hoping it would shut down because I still live in fear that I'm going to find out I have a kid out there somewhere. And I did that thing because it was an advertiser. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But then after I did it, I was like, what did I just do?
Oh my God. Do you have that fear, Sandy? Could you get a call one day and be like, this is your kid?
Well, yeah, I could get, sure. I mean, most guys
Oh my God.
could.
It happened to a friend of mine, and she was in her early 30s, his daughter.
Oh my gosh. That's definitely something that only guys have to worry about. Like girls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
When it happened to my friend, they just started a relationship, and she's from then forward, she's in Christmas photos with everybody. They just connected, and it's fine, even though he didn't have a relationship with her for the first 30 years.
Trisha, is it really far-fetched for a woman to get pregnant and not tell the father of it?
No, I don't think it's far-fetched at all.
They just keep it quiet, and they never say. So
they just pray that it doesn't look too
Just
much like the non-husband.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm sure it happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty tough denying my kid because our daughter looks just like me.
It's like Sandy grew her and birthed her. When she was born for the first, I don't know how many years of her life, it looked like I was maybe the stepmom.
Yeah.
Like I had nothing to do with the child at all. It looked just like Sandy.
Yeah, it's strong genes. That's what it is.
Very strong genes.
Very, very strong genes. So we started this with Mathew and Woody. I guess maybe they're going to use the TV show to make an announcement. Who knows? But they don't have to tell anybody, right? They could just be playing us all the way. So
I want to know so bad. I don't know why, but they're just so nice. I just like them both.
When does the show start?
I believe in the fall. I don't have a release date, but they're still in the middle of filming it. So it comes out on Apple TV though.
All right,
both those guys are at a point where they can just do whatever they want.
Isn't that great for them?
You know, they're having so much fun probably because they're like best buds in real life too, apparently.
Somebody was giving McConaughey a hard time for like doing Lincoln ads, and he quickly said, look, I do those. The money's great, and it affords me the luxury to really pick and choose scripts. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But he also loves the car. I remember reading that. I mean, he drove a Lincoln before. It was a natural fit for him.
Yeah.
To do it. They're good commercials too.
I know. It's funny how we were talking about the other day, like we're the generation where we're like, sell out.
Yeah.
It's very much a Gen X thing.
Yeah, it is.
Sell out.
It is.
Whereas like millennials, Gen Z, they're like, you're getting paid. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Our generation,
point.
you're a sellout.
You're so out. Hey, coming up, stick around. There's a show that's happening on Friday. And I'll tell you, I went down a little, not a rabbit hole, but just the name of the person performing got me really curious about a bunch of other things. And it led me to something that I think will be the coolest thing you'll hear all day today or all week. All right. So stick with us. That is coming up next on Austin's 80 station, 103.1.